Which of the following shows correct inverse trigonometric values? So let's take this first one, actually. Let me take the whole picture. Looks like a madman's writing, doesn't it? Okay, so with inverse trigonometric functions, there are ways to help us rewrite equations so that we can solve for certain values. So you can undo this by taking a secant of both sides. This is the same thing as saying the square root of 2 equals secant pi over 4. And so now this is just going back to stuff we've done previous in the course. Secant pi over 4, you got to find out that trig value. So pi over 4 is right around here. That's a 45-degree angle. And we know 45-degree angles have that special triangle. It's square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2, and 1 for the hypotenuse. So it means secant is the reciprocal of cosine. Cosine would be the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. So secant is the hypotenuse divided by the adjacent. And so if you flip that fraction and multiply, this is the same thing as 2 over the square root of 2. And if you rationalize the denominator by multiplying the top and the bottom by square root of 2, simplifies to make square root of 2. Okay, so this one checks out. We just rewrote this equation and it checks out. It's the same thing. So you could do that with all these. Do arc secant square root of 2. So this rewritten would be square root of 2 equals secant 3 pi over 4. And then use what you've learned about right angle trig to evaluate this one. Just remember 3 pi over 4, that's over here. It still has a reference angle of 45 degrees. But now just sine is positive here. So cosine would be negative here. So actually we can rule this one right out because it's supposed to be negative square root of 2. Right? Arc cosecant of 1. In other words, this one is saying negative 1 equals cosecant of 0. So remember, what goes inside a trig function is an angle. So this is saying, hey, here's 0 degrees. What's cosecant of 0 degrees? This is 1 comma 0 in the unit circle. So cosine is 1. Sine is 0, and since cosecant is just the reciprocal of sine, that'd be like a divide by 0 error. That can't happen, so that's not written correctly. Okay, so keep going, do what I'm doing, write it as negative 1 equals cosecant of pi, and then evaluate cosecant of pi. Does that equal negative 1? This one, when you rewrite it, you take cotangent of both sides, so you get 1 over the square root of 3. Is that equal to cotangent of 2 pi over 3? Okay, so that's how you can check each one of those.